Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to assemble a Dremel table saw extension with a Dremel 4250. Okay, so what you're getting in the package is this table mount for your tool. It could be a Dremel, it could be a different one, but generally this is what they look like, a crossbar with two little holes on the sides, the little angle, and four pillars which have a tapped hole on top. Right, so the types of tools you'll need, it's a little Torx bit, a little hex. Both of them are for M3 bolts, and something for wood screws. Right, so you're getting 20 of these little wood screws, 4 M3 by 10 hex cap bolts. Those are all stainless. 4 M3 by 10 countersunk bolts. Those are for the pillar tops, because there are some recesses on the table saw, on the table, and this is where they go. Okay, and you're getting one M3 by 18 bolt, which is for the clamp, and 3 M3 hex nuts. Right, those are for M3 bolts. So I'm going to start with the little angle in the table, because this is the tricky bit. So it's not double-sided. The other side of this angle has a cutout for the bolt to ride in. So it goes like this. Get one of them 3 bolts, put it through. Now just have to attach it there, slide it in, and then I'm just going to pre-fasten it, not fasten it completely, but it just goes in. Right, okay, so the first one goes like that. I hope it'll pick up on it. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put another M3 bolt through. Right, so it just goes through the hole in the middle on the little angle, and then put it on top of the table. Right, but underneath it there's another cutout for another bolt. So I'm going to fasten it now, just a little bit, and then drop it in so that it can sit inside another cutout. Now this may not be too obvious, because that's actually not the right one, not the right cutout. This one is for the blade. Yeah, I was wondering why it doesn't fit. Okay, so just on the longer rectangle here. Okay, so it goes in. Right, so those are a bit tricky because all those bolts are M3, so they're tiny. Okay, so you can see that it rides inside the cutout and it holds itself using this bolt. Now I'm going to fasten it a bit so it looks proper. Right. And the other one, the other side of the angle, now it can be, I'm going to show you on the other side, now it can be moved, because this one is completely solid, the middle bolt is completely solid, while the other one rides inside this cutout. So this is how the little angle works. I'm going to slide it all the way to one side and fasten it completely so it just doesn't get in our way during the assembly. Right, now it just sits there tight. So the second thing I'm going to go for is the bar. It probably doesn't matter. I would start with the angle. I would recommend starting with the angle, but it's also not that important. Right, so this needs to go inside a little profile here. Now it shouldn't be tight, it should be loose actually, so we shouldn't have too much trouble getting it in. See, there it goes. Now it has two little holes on the sides, so I'm going to use M3 by 10 bolts there and pre-fasten them, not complete, because there's another thing I'd like to show you. Now if you go, obviously you can't use too much force here because there isn't too much material in the middle, right? So it wouldn't be a great idea, but okay, anyway, I'm just going to do it gently and see if it still slides. Yep, it still slides, so it's not locked. The little lines you can see here probably, oh, there it is. Yeah, you can use them as a little help to position the bar, and also they mark every 5 mil from what I can remember. So you can also use it to gauge the distance if you're cutting something to size. Now, so we've got the table assembled. Now we're going with the pillars. Please bear in mind that there are 20 wood screws, but you don't have to use all of them. It's just that the pillars have 4 slots in them. There are 4 pillars, so that's 16, and there are another 4 holes in these. So you probably have to put all 4 screws inside the mount, but not really into the pillars. Although that's, well, whichever option you prefer, it's fine. So you can see the hex. Sorry, the countersunk bolt, it sits underneath the table, and this is what they're for. Okay, so now this might be a bit awkward. I'm going to try to get it in, or maybe even a little bit differently, like yeah, just the first one is going to be a bit of a problem. It should screw in like I just did with just my fingers, and then I'm going to use the little hex screw, sorry, the little Torx bit. Please bear in mind I don't attach them to the sets. Right, so there will be some resistance, but that's fine. Still better than not having any, right? So I'm just going to attach. I think I might be going at an angle here. Not sure. Anyway, these are actually for Allen keys, not for Torx keys. Sorry, or bits. So just you should really be using a hex bit, but because you're only doing it once, it doesn't really matter because you won't wear the socket that quickly. Okay, so we've got the first pillar in. As you can see, it would be a bit awkward to get the screws which are underneath the table and on the inside. So yeah, they're not necessary. You could probably attach a few screws, then undo the top, and then do the other screws, but it really isn't necessary. So I'm not going to do that here. I just thought it looks nice with the pillars like this. So yeah. Okay, so I'm not. Oh, wait. Yeah, maybe it would be better to have regular bolts so that magnetic bits would work. But yeah, anyway. Moving on. So okay, another one. You might want to use something a bit like a Bosch IXO or some, just weak power tool to get these bolts in, because there is quite some strength that's required. And yeah, so I mean, I'm quite happy with a tight fit on the tabs. But yeah, you know, it might be not ideal for some people. Now, once you have two in, it's a bit easier because the table already stands properly. So yeah. Okay, another one. Right. Yeah, it's a lot easier now. It still takes a while. It's not easy, but you know, it goes in without much problems, unless the bit gets broken. Yeah, these are all just tiny, and you know, with so much torque it might be a problem, but it shouldn't be, but it might. You know, you could probably get away with just getting a little wood screw in there, so just so that it grips the plastic. Obviously the holes are just M3s, so they're also small. See, just in case, for the sake of the video, if it fits with, yeah, it does fit with these bolts, these screws as well. You just need to be careful not to use too much force so that you don't break the pillar, because those are just, you know, small plastic parts, and you know, there shouldn't be too much force on them. So these are almost all bolts done now. We just the mount left. Okay, as most of us are right-handed, I'm going to do the right-handed version. Obviously you can just keep assembling it the way I have it oriented now, and then you'll have a left-handed version. But yeah, most of us are right-handed, so I'm going to switch it around now. Right, so it sits there. It's quite solid, but let's just finish these first. Right, so the M3 bolt goes through, and you can probably spot a hex opening on the plastic part right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the bolt through and attach the nut to the bolt, and then as we're going to fasten it a bit. Oh, actually it fits without any problems, but if you end up having a problem fitting these, you can pull the nut in with the bolt, and this way you'll have a nice that's not the right one, and this way you'll have a nice little mechanism that pulls it in. And as you can see, as I fasten the bolt completely, the gap gets narrower, and this is what holds the tool in place. Right, so what I'm going to do now is perhaps try the whole thing on, see if it so I just slide it from the front as much as I can behind the button, so that we don't end up covering it. Now I'm going to angle it, and there's the cable, because I haven't connected anything, so yeah, it'll look a bit bad, but well. So yeah, it's in the middle. It could, right, if you have a different tool than a Dremel, perhaps if it's Aldi Work Zone or something else, then the offset I created is a bit bigger for the pillars, because I can only go this tight with a Dremel, and I'm showing you the metal cutting bit here, but most people use these for wood, so the opening is a bit wider than it needs to be for just the metal cutting disc. Right, so once you have it in the middle, you can start putting it all together. Obviously we're not going to do that by hand, so here's a little drill. Okay, not sure if it will be too loud or something, but yeah. Okay, now I'm going to attach a bit. It's not a perfect fit, but you know, it doesn't have to be if you're just using it once to put the table somewhere, the table saw extension. So okay, there it is, that's done. Now I think I'll start with the table because it's a bit easier to maneuver with the, or maybe not, it probably doesn't matter actually. So yeah, I'll just go with the, because it seems to be a bit more difficult to maneuver with the table. I'm going to start with the mount. Right, no excessive force used. Actually, I might even fasten it now completely, so it doesn't move up and down. Now the bolts fit perfectly, and I'm quite happy about it. So as you can see, and the board I'm using is an offcut that you can probably buy in any hardware store. So it's you know, it's a bit longer than it's needed for this, but they're quite handy. Okay, so it's still probably going to wobble a bit because I haven't, no it's not, it's actually quite solid. Right, I'm going to fasten this. And then check if it slides out or if it doesn't, but it shouldn't anymore, hopefully. Right. Okay, so I close the gap completely and you can see how solid it is, or you can't, but you know, it just doesn't move at all. So I'm quite happy about it. Right. Oh, not this way. The other way. Okay, now we can have a better view of the whole assembly. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach a few screws for the table, possibly just one per leg, to have a complete mount, which I can, or, you know, maybe one, maybe two per leg, because it's easy. Yeah, so yeah, I'm going at an angle here, but yeah, as you can see, it's gone up, so maybe I'll undo it a bit. That's not the goal here. Right, I'll do one on the opposite side then. You just have to be careful so that the blade stays in the middle, but overall, right, so it's not going to do that anymore, and this is what I meant when I said that it's probably better to start with the table first. It's not very visible, but the blade is offset now a little, but you don't have to worry, as long as these two are still in line, it should be okay. If one of these is at an angle, then you might hit the plastic part. Now this still looks okay. You know, I have just two bolts in. I'm going to finish this as well, but with just two bolts in, it's already pretty solid in my opinion. Just 1 second. Right, so you can see on one end it's connected. Now I'll go with the other end. No, not yet. Just a bit more. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I'm quite happy with this. Now I'm going to attach a few more screws just for good measure. But yeah, this is pretty much what it looks like, how you can assemble it, and it's a fairly straightforward process. I can see that it took me 20 minutes, and yeah, it doesn't come pre-assembled, so you'll have to perhaps I should just attach a few more screws, but yeah, no, this is pretty much it as far as the assembly goes. Now, if you end up having any problems, you can always send me a message, and I'd like to hear some of your thoughts about the table saw, perhaps some additions that you'd like to see here, or a different approach you'd like me to take. But yeah, so far it does look nice. It's pretty solid. It just works, for the sake of it. For what it's going to be used for. It just it's perfectly fine. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and good luck.